All right, welcome to today's explainer. We're jumping straight into the creative evolution of Claudia D. Reid. Now, if you aren't familiar with her yet, get ready. She's a multi-season storyteller who has spent years operating as this incredible architect of shadows, meticulously building entire realities, complex characters, and sprawling narratives completely out of the public eye. And today, well, we finally get to pull back the curtain and see exactly what happens when a creator of this magnitude steps into the light.
It really begs a fascinating question, doesn't it? What actually happens when a lifelong private writer finally opens her vault? Most writers share as they go, looking for feedback or validation along the way. But we're exploring a completely different scenario today. We're looking at how one dedicated creator transforms years of solitary, private writing into a massive, pitch-ready slate that is primed for the industry spotlight. It's a super rare pivot, and it's fascinating to watch unfold.
So, let's get right into part 1, Private Words to Public Worlds.
Claudia's dedication didn't just pop up overnight. This has literally been a lifelong progression. We're talking an evolution that started with childhood crayons and the early sparks of imagination, eventually filling up stack after stack of private composition books. But she didn't just stop at journaling. Those notebooks evolved into fully structured multi-season television series. And now, she's standing right at the precipice, positioning this massive body of work for formal industry submission. It's just a brilliant progression of honing a craft in absolute secret before confidently stepping onto the professional stage.
Moving on to part 2, let's do some exploring of the completed universes. When you look at her portfolio, the sheer narrative range is honestly wild. On one hand, she's crafted this deeply emotional, mythic, supernatural drama called Queen's Village, which dives into heavy core themes like identity, memory, and becoming whole. But then she can completely pivot to Blood on the Deeds, which is a grounded, hard-hitting, prestige thriller and crime drama rooted in community, corruption, and a relentless fight for truth. Being able to nail both a nuanced, supernatural family drama and a gritty conspiracy thriller, yeah, that highlights a writer with some serious versatility.
But here's the absolute kicker, the crucial takeaway here. 10 full seasons. Just let that sink in for a second. That's 5 completed seasons of Queen's Village, plus a completed pilot, and 5 full seasons of Blood on the Deeds. For an unrepresented writer operating completely independently, to have this much television mapped out and fully written, that is incredibly rare in this industry. It shows a level of discipline and long-term vision that is simply off the charts.
Which brings us to part 3, an expanding creative slate. Because you see, her universe actually goes way beyond just those 2 flagship properties. She's stretching completely different creative muscles right now. She has The Crusty Crucifixion, which is a completed pilot for a dark comedy and social thriller, and, as if television wasn't enough, she's stepping into feature films with Lemon Man and Sunrise Bites, a redemption drama currently in development. It really just proves she's far from a one-trick pony. This is a robust, dynamic approach to storytelling across multiple formats and genres.
All right, part 4. Let's talk about the Stage 32 launch.
This is where we hit the vital turning point. It's all about moving from private creation to public presentation for industry discovery. Working under her unified platform, Claudia Reid Writes, she is actively making that transition from drafting in the shadows to ensuring absolute public visibility. She's making sure that her long-form storytelling, all those intricate character arcs, and that massive world building can finally be discovered by the managers, producers, and collaborators who are going to help take it to the screen.
And her rollout strategy? It's a highly strategic, 3-pronged approach. Step 1 is consolidating her entire writing journey across various platforms. Step 2 is the actual industry gateway, launching her full body of work on Stage 32, which acts as this central professional hub where insiders can directly access her completed universes. And finally, Step 3 brings in that personal touch. She's utilizing YouTube as a companion space to narrate this journey in her own voice, sharing her process and her evolution directly with the audience.
After a lifetime of acting as the sole architect of these shadows, her driving force is actually incredibly simple. To quote her directly, she is just excited to bring these stories to life and introduce audiences to the universes she's created. It's fundamentally about connection, right? It's about taking these characters she has lived with for years out into the light of day and sharing these massive, original worlds with all of us.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, it leaves us with one incredibly provocative question. With 10 full seasons mapped out,
multiple completed pilots, an expanding feature film slate, and a highly strategic industry launch currently underway, who is going to be the first to help bring Claudia D. Reid's universes to the screen? The vault is officially open, and the stories are ready to go. It just leaves us with a thrilling thought for any literary manager, producer, or executive tuning in. Whose desk will these visionary scripts land on first? Thanks so much for exploring this creative evolution with me today.